Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory. I got Allie Clifton here. I got Trudell out at the stadium. We got Bresnahan working the post game as well. The Lakers have now won 5 straight games. Hey, they're finally over 500 at home. They're now 4-3. They've won 7 straight versus the Pelicans. How about this number, James? It was 45-30 with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Pelicans were winning. The Lakers went on an 80-40 to run.
Yeah.
80-40.
Yeah. All started with
40.
the clamp down defense. You know, they made the run. Pelicans, obviously, a young team coming into Los Angeles. You know, Ingram, Hart, Zion. You know, they're young. Everybody's going to have a great start against the Lakers because you want to impress yourself against them. But the defense picked up. I thought Kuzma, especially, you know, double-double again. He had one the other night, 11 for 11. You know, Caruso knocking down the 3. In addition, you know, to all the other little things he does on the defensive end. And I just thought, you know, LeBron, you know, he's just did LeBron like he usually does. And a good collective effort in the second half to close out the game.
I think they started out so hot, they had nothing left for the second half.
61%.
They was killing it. Hey, you know, we're going to talk about the Lakers offense. We're going to talk about the Lakers defense. But what I like to look at most is they took care of the basketball. They only had 6 turnovers in this entire game. And that's good for them because you look at a lot of the past games, they've been turning it over. But here they took care of the ball. They made good, sharp passes for good, crisp shots. And that's what you got to have out of a team that's playing a team that you need to beat. And these are one of the teams that you have to beat.
Yeah, the bench playing, everyone getting in again. LeBron James only playing 31 minutes, AD 33. How about this? Kyle Kuzma in his last 3 games, 30 rebounds. Double-double for Kuz off the bench. He's speaking with Mike Trudell.
All right, Kyle, you guys come off the road trip. Little bit of a slow start tonight, and then things flipped somewhere in the second quarter. What did you see was the difference there as you guys took over the game?
You know, we just tightened up on defense, made them miss a little bit more. And, you know, they missed some shots too, but we also made them miss. So I think that's the biggest thing. We got out in transition and run after we got stops, and you know, that helped.
All right, Goose, 13 rebounds for you tonight, 2 short of your career high, but, you know, you've had to find other ways to impact the game without as many shots, just given what the other talent is on the roster. What is the rebounding focus been for you, and how did that play out tonight?
Man, I'm just trying to get in where I fit in, you know, just trying to find my role in this team, and, you know, just trying to bring energy, and that's what I'm just trying to do.
Hey, winning is always better than losing. You guys have gotten used to that over the course of the last 2 seasons. What about this new team with the new guys that have come in as you've become integrated with them? How do you think that's going, and where do you have to get to?
You know, we still got ways to go. You know, obviously.
On that end of the ball against the San Antonio Spurs, the Lakers have not lost a game. Their defense has tightened up, and they're #1 in the league in defensive rating.
Yeah, regardless of how the game starts, sometimes they start out and they pour it on. The defense starts at the beginning of the game. Sometimes they have a little slow start. But it's always the defense that gets them back into the game and activates their offense. 31 assists. I thought it was a beautiful exhibition of the extra pass. Montrez being the recipient of a lot of those dunks. You know, Caruso getting into the lane. But defensively, as Rob said, you know, we knew they couldn't shoot 61% for the entire game. Yeah. And so the defense had a lot to do with that in the second half. I just think if they continue to play defense the way they are, they could be a little bit better than they were last year without the shot blockers because, you know, they congest the paint. They do a good job of drawing charges. So far, so good.
Yeah, knocking down shots. And the key is they got good shots from penetration, kicking, and making that extra pass. When they're moving the basketball like that, it's hard to stop. It's hard to see them do those threes off the move, but when they spotting up, knocking down threes at a 15 for 37 for 40%, you like to see that, not the ones where they're coming off the move, because some of those guys can do it, but not all of those guys can.
Rob, we saw what Frank Vogel and this staff could do with the personnel they had last year, their ability to adjust in a playoff series. With this kind of a roster, Frank, that staff, they're able to adjust as well. Throwing 2 guys at Ingram late in that third quarter, and all of a sudden you're taking the ball out of his hands. It takes personnel. It takes defensive-minded players, smart players. The Lakers have that. It's fun to watch them start to figure that out this year already.
Yeah, the ability to change course within the game is important in this game of basketball because your game plan might not work in the first half, but you got to have a backup plan. And the Lakers are able to execute their backup plan. They got the ball out of Ingram's hand. They stopped Zion from getting into the middle of the paint, and they stopped the threes because they was just shooting the ball like carefree and knocking down shots, and they was able to get the guys, run them off the three-point line, make them make the extra pass, and they also got, you know, some 3-second violations and some, you know, hurried shots down the stretch.
You know, James, I'm glad you brought up the offense as well. The 31 assists kind of jumped out at me. I didn't realize that until you said it. They continue to show that they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. 40% again tonight, 15 of 37. And you know what's happened the last couple of games? Low turnover. Just 8 turnovers, under 10.
Yeah, taking care of the basketball.
Yeah.
You know, they got a little trouble last year, early turnovers, too many turnovers, sometimes 18, 19 turnovers, and the opponents capitalized on that. They've corrected that this year. You know, they're making the right pass. They're not making that marginal pass that looks like is there, and they're not, you know, forcing the passes. So I love what they're doing. They're very patient. A lot of it starts with LeBron. LeBron is so smart. I remember a week or so ago, it was Wes Matthews. He said, I need to get him into the game. Montrez, he gets Montrez into the game. He knows how to find people. Kuz, you know, he's finding shots for people. So, you know, collectively they're doing it. And then when you got a point guard that knows how to do it, it's just extra butter on the toast.
Today in that third quarter was KCP. He kept getting the ball, too. KCP had 3 threes in that third quarter. You look at the most consecutive games with 15, 5, and 5. LeBron James to start a season in NBA history, 2011-12. He's with the Miami Heat. He did it 22 games. LeBron this year, we're talking about another streak, Rob. Here it is. He's at 14 games. I mean, tonight he does it again. 21 points, 11 assists.
Run out of ways to talk about his greatness, so you have to find things to shine on him a little bit more. But LeBron can just, you can go to any streak or anything in the NBA, and LeBron's name is probably at the top of the 5. True.
Yeah, speaking of records, you know who has the most fouls? The third person in the NBA history who has the most fouls in the league?
Who?
Robert Horry?
Yes.
In playoffs.
Kareem is first. Who's second, Rob?
Tim Duncan.
And you're third.
You know what Rob and I talked about the other night, James? Remember all the time Rob used to always
records.
slap the ball away? He would always slap the ball. It was his famous move, right? He'd go like this. And then the other guy would get the steal, though.
Yeah, he tried to slap your face, though, first. He's like,
Did you foul out in playoff games?
I fouled out in one playoff game.
Yeah.
That was in Indiana. I was in a Laker uniform. We was playing Indiana. I fouled out in that game. Game 6 that we won on our floor.
When's the last time LeBron was in foul trouble? He had 3 tonight, and they took him out in the first half. I'm trying to think of, he just plays smart.
He just plays smart, and it also helps that he's LeBron James because we know why people come to the arena to watch him play. But more importantly, he's a smart player, and he plays good defense. He's not a Gary Payton or these guys who use their hands a lot. He uses his body because he's bigger than most guys, so he knows how to position himself to take that blunt of that blow, and most time people bounce off him.
We'll have to ask Allie Clifton later on. I've never seen him play this type of defense. He's been a pretty good defensive player his whole career, but the way he's locked in, picking up star players the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, locking them up. You know, I've never seen his focus, and I'm wondering if that has a lot to do with AD coming in.
Yeah, we'll get to her in a little bit for sure. Let's get to the highlights first. Davis at 17, LeBron 21. Guess what? 21 points, 11 assists for LeBron. He's now speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron, what did you notice in that second quarter when things seemed to flip for you guys and click in and we saw the team that more resembled what was on the road trip?
We just settled in. You know, that first game after a road trip was always kind of difficult, always kind of challenging. So, you know, we was able to just flip the switch, start getting defensive stops, get on, rebound, and run, got to our game, and was able to change the game around. So we got back to playing our style of basketball.
All right.
You know you pride yourself on being able to.
Go ahead. Dave, finish off.
Can I follow up quick? Okay, yeah, we know you pride yourself on being able to play as many minutes as needed. 365. Does it help though to have not to have to play over 30 because you're up by 20? Is that stuff that you can sort of build up and save for later in the season, or is it irrelevant?
No, man. I'm 36 years old, 18 years in the league. Ain't no save for something for later on in the season. My body is ready to play whatever I need to play throughout the course of the game. I go hard while I'm out there, and then I start my treatment after the game. So I wish I could bank time. I wish I was Justin Timberlake in that movie where I could bank some time, but I cannot do that at this point.
Okay, on to Kyle Goon, please.
LeBron, at halftime, I think the Pelicans were shooting 61%, and you guys were shooting 40%. You were down by a point. You guys were winning turnovers, free throws. What do you think you demonstrate when you are able to hang in games and then eventually win games by competing in ways that aren't
good basketball in that first half? So we just came in the second half with a little bit more, tried to slow them down a little bit more, give them some different reads. But we stayed in the game in that first half, like you said, we was able to get to the free throw line, we was able to turn them over and get some fast break points, so that definitely helped.
Okay, Dan Wojcicki, please.
Hey, LeBron, what's your favorite part about where this team is at 14 games? What do you like most, what you're seeing?
That we continue to get better. I feel like we've gotten better every game. We continue to learn each other, and I told you guys that our film sessions, and our games are going to be like, practices as well, because we're close, a new group, for the most part. We got five guys that's been in the rotation this year that, was not in the rotation last year, and Dennis Dominguez, West, Mark Trez, and Taylor. So we continue to, the more minutes we get, the more games we get, the more, opportunity to get on the floor, and then the film session just helps our growth.
Okay, Bill Oram.
Hey, LeBron, could you talk us through the putback dunk after the Kuz miss? And then as a secondary question, you are 36. At some point, you're supposed to stop doing things like that. Is there anything physically that you feel like you can't do that you could have done 10 years ago?
Yeah, but I wouldn't tell you that. But I continue to put myself in the best condition I can be in. I train my body and I train my mind every single day. I come into the arenas or the facility and I get in a lot of extra work. Preparing my body, preparing my mind, and hopefully I can continue to do what I'm doing right now at 36 and see what happens. But I tell you, I don't think that I can go to 46. We can go from 26 to 36, but I don't think I can go to 46. And I also don't think my wife would like that. Pretty much, she wouldn't like that either.
Okay, Dave McMenamin.
Another one?
LeBron, this is I think the second highest 3-point percentage of your career thus far. I mean, we're only 14 games in or whatever. You made a couple tonight. You go perfect from the free throw line. Earlier in the week, Frank Vogel said you're the best shooter on the team. There is a guy on the team tonight who moved up the top 10 list of all-time three-pointers for the Lakers in KCP. Are you the best shooter on the team? Have you ever been the best shooter on a team before? And where does KCP rank in that conversation?
We got a lot of great shooters on the team, man. KCP, great shooter. Wes Matthews, great shooter. Kuz can shoot the heck out of the ball. Dennis Dominguez can shoot the ball as well. AD can shoot the ball. So we got a lot of great knockdown shooters. Now, obviously, if someone say bet, I'm going to take my, obviously you guys know I'm going to take myself. That's just the competitive nature in me and the work ethic that I put into my shot. But I feel real good with my shot right now, both from the free throw line and also from the three-point line. And, I want to continue that, just continue to give defenses, different styles of my play, playing pick and roll basketball, playing in the mid-range, playing in the post, getting out on the break where I've always been pretty good. So, continue to keep the defense off balance will help our team in the long run.
Okay, last two quick questions. We have Brad Turner.
What's up, Brian?
What's up, B?
Hey, look, when Dennis is playing defense like he did in that second quarter, what does that do for the team? And how disruptive was he out there?
I mean, you saw the energy, man. And, right now without fans in Staples Center, which we miss so much, man, just having a defender like Dennis Dominguez did, being able to pick up full court and get like 2 or 3 consecutive steals or deflections to get us out on the break, get us into it got us right back into the game. So, big time on his part, man. He's been doing it all year for us. And, it takes the offense, opposing offense out of a lot of stuff that they want to do, either coming out of timeout, having a set play. We're able to disrupt that and disrupt that with Dennis being on the ball and, just leads to a lot of energy for our ball club.
Okay, and last question, Melissa Rowland.
Hey, LeBron, I have an off-the-court question for you tonight. You've obviously been very outspoken for a long time about politics and social justice. I'm curious if there was a particular moment where you said, enough's enough, I don't care who I alienate, after something specifically happened where you're like, that's it, I'm speaking out. I
believe when I was in Miami, it was the Trayvon Martin situation. hearing about that story, having two sons of my own, and thinking if I send my kids out to the store and they never returned, and then the information that I got back was the information that I heard in the Trayvon Martin case, how heartbroken, how mad, how disappointed I would have been, not only with my community at that point in time, but with the police, the policing, either if they had a badge or not, the neighborhood watch or whatever the case may be during that point in time. That was the moment where I knew that it was much bigger than just basketball. And myself having the platform that I had, and us as the Miami Heat had at that point in time, we spoke on about that. You can go back and look at a picture of us having we took a picture with all our hoodies on, and just showcasing that just because we got a hoodie on, that doesn't mean that we are a criminal, that we are someone that means harm to anyone, and it's just a piece of clothing. So I believe at that very moment, that's when it began for me, because it hit home for me when I thought about Bronny and Bryce.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks so much, Mom.
Here it is, right behind me. Most fouls in playoff history. Will Smith. I mean, Robert Horry. Man, looking smooth. Kareem 1.
Shaq and Tim mixed up. My bad.
Shaq 2. Robert Horry 3. Tim Duncan 4. Scottie Pippen 5. James Worthy.
So you got to play defense
96.
without fouling, Bob. You'd be down in the 90s.
717 fouls.
First of all, you need to put beside those fouls how many games I played. I passed.
He's playing that baseline area, waiting for those passes. But yeah, I like the hockey.
He knows how to finish in the paint.
Yes,
You're
sir.
always trying to get more. He already has 11 assists. AD had his third game of the season with at least 3 steals and 3 blocks. He's now speaking with the mic in the media.
AD, LeBron said that sometimes you get back from a road trip and it can lead to a slow start, but you guys overcame that pretty quickly. Are there certain things that you just go to on the defensive end? Are there not necessarily a play, or what's a way that you guys do that?
Energy and effort. Slow start. I mean, no excuses. Team haven't played in 7 days. They had one game in 7 days, and we knew they were going to come out with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Thank you. And we were slow defensively. We were slow offensively. I think in the first quarter they were shooting 60% from the field, 62 from the field, 60 from 3, and we were shooting in the 20s. So. It started with DS's ball pressure. He got 2 back-to-back steals and kind of got us going. We fed off his energy. But that's usually what it is. It takes one play to kind of get us going, and we get going. And, when you're on the road 7 days and come home for a couple of days and on the road again for 5 days, it can kind of, wear on you a little bit and, get you off to that slow start. But like you said, we overcame it tonight.
I know it's different players, but what do you think the difference is in getting shots, like such good shots from 3? It just seems like they've been better this season.
We got a lot of guys who can get in the paint. We got guys who can get in the paint, and we're making the right decisions. We got a lot of good looks last year, but, I think this year, Coach put an emphasis on getting to the paint, with our guards, Taylor, AC, Bron, DS. All these guys are getting to the paint, and we're finding our shooters and making the right plays. And, it's just the basketball style that we want to play. It's good basketball, and, tonight that's how we're able to kind of open the lead up a little bit.
Okay, Kyle Boone, please.
Hey, D, you had a rough shooting start and then seemed to warm up, especially at the free throw line. When you're hitting shots at the free throw line, does that have an effect on how you hit shots from the field?
Yeah, I think everybody who's a scorer, or a shooter wants to be able to get to the free throw line if they're off and see the ball go through the rim. For me, I'm going to continue to shoot the ball. I liked all the looks that I shot today. And you can't control whether it goes in or not. I just continue to play defense and just try to do other things on the floor. And having that energy and doing, the intangibles, it kind of got me going on the offensive end where I started hitting shots and making the free throws. So I just try to play through it and continue to take shots, knowing that, I always try to carry the threat of being aggressive anytime I catch the ball.
Okay, David Meneman, please.
AD, I'm only asking you this because Frank came out and said earlier in the week that LeBron is the best shooter on the team. You have KCP move up the Lakers all-time three-pointers made list.
Yeah. You're
shooting way better from three. LeBron's shooting second best three of his career. Can you rank the shooters on this team?
He's up there. I mean, Bron has been shooting the ball extremely well this year. Obviously Kenny been shooting the ball. And congrats to him for moving up to 9th on the Lakers list. But I will have to say, Kenny is always, our guy who we look to for shots. Wes is, still struggling to find a consistent three. He's getting open looks, but I still put Wes up there. He's a sniper. Kenny, West. I'll put Bron third, just because this year he's been able to shoot the ball extremely well. Mark can shoot it. Mark is up there. And then I'll put myself. You got Duds, AC. Honestly, all our guys are able to make shots, and we have been making shots this year. So it's tough. I have to look at the percentages and see, but Bron's always going to be up there just because he shoots a ton of them, especially when he gets hot. He starts shooting from half court and things like that. So I don't think Coach will maybe allow Kenny to do that.
Okay, Dan Wakey, please.
AD, you guys have put teams away here over the past week, extended leads late, stuff like that. How has this team been able to do that, and how good is it to finish games on the bench repeatedly?
Yeah, we've been doing it defensively. We've been locking in defensively. We had a slow start tonight, but we've been doing it on the defensive end. I think we were first in defensive rating, and we want to keep that edge. We want to keep that mindset on the defensive end of being scrappy, being physical, one shot, offense for the other team, and it will carry us into the offensive end. But it just starts with our guards picking up full court. Dennis does it all the time, picking up 94 feet, AC when he gets in, and then the big guys protecting the rim. But our mindset defensively just switched, and we're able to do that, which allows us to, like you say, put teams away and able to sit in the fourth quarter where we can save our legs and let our guys who usually don't play, get in. And now we're able to save our bodies and our legs for later on in the season when we really need them.
Okay, last two questions. We're going to go with Jim from the Journal-Sentinel.
Hey, Anthony, I'm with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Getting to know Drew a little bit here, and him and Lauren reached out to get into the community within days of him being traded. I guess, can you speak a little bit to the type of man that the Bucks, not just the Bucks, but the city of Milwaukee are getting, not just with you, but even Lauren, too?
Yeah, great family. Really close friends of mine. Drew and Lo are, two amazing people who love being in the community. Everyone knows the story that their family went through with Lo, and that's a family who everybody seems to get drawn to because of their love and support that they have for any community that they're in. And I think the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin is getting two people who are genuine people who really love being in the community and want to help everyone around them, no matter what it is. And so, like I say, really good friends of mine, and you guys are getting really good, genuine people.
Okay, last question, Claudia Jestro, please.
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Anthony, when they had Zion, Ingram, and Adams on the floor, how tough was that front line to defend and score on?
We just made the game simple offensively. Putting them in pick and rolls and knowing that they're a low man team, which means that they're going to pull in and try to stop anybody who comes to the lane from the opposite side, and we're just making reads. And so we just tried to play simple basketball tonight. And, Zion and Steven Adams are, they're low down there. They're two, very huge physical guys. And, it took a team effort tonight, trying to keep Zion out of the paint, make him take tough shots, and keeping him and Steven Adams off the glass. So it was tough for all of us, and it was a team effort against both of those guys, and we were able to be successful tonight.
Great, thanks so much, AD.
Yep.
When you guys see the flames going, what does that mean? You know what time it is. What does it mean, Allie?
Rob's time?
Rob's time.
Rob's on fire.
Rob's
on
saying that.
Drop it.
Giving you that.
Get to it. Rob's, what are you even breaking down today?
Let's roll this thing out right here.
Years old.
Another dominant second half as the Lakers win their 5th straight. Let's hear from head coach Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Frank, AD talked about in LeBron also the start and then how things kind of flipped around. What are you as a coach looking for if you don't quite have your best energy in the first couple minutes? Like, are there certain things that you want to get to that starts in the defensive end?
Well, yeah, you said it right there. I thought we played with good energy to start the game, but we came out cold. We couldn't throw it in the ocean at the first quarter. And those are the situations where your defense got to carry you and keep you in games, and give you a chance for that offense to come back around. And that's what we challenge our guys to do throughout the first half. And really at halftime we made some adjustments defensively, to slow them down a little bit, and really had a great defensive second half.
I think it's early, but you have a lot of guys shooting the three really well. You've spoken about some of them, but even Caruso without that offseason, like what does that give you to have him hitting shots consistently with that second unit? And it seems like it goes 1 through 10, 1 through 11.
Yeah, well, we have so many guys that are so versatile. Not only both they're two-way players, can carry their own on the offensive end and get it done defensively, but the offensive versatility. Right, guys that there's not a lot of one-trick ponies on this team. Guys that can put it on the deck, make plays in pick and rolls off of pin downs, attack the paint and make plays off the bounce, but also carry that threat off the basketball. With second side threes, and when you're playing with guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James, those guys are perfect complements, and we're continuing to focus on shot quality, and as a result, we're shooting well from behind the arc.
Okay, Kyle Zoom, please.
You guys came out of that third quarter on a 15-0 run, that timeout. What did you say in that timeout that clearly inspired the 15-0 run and shut the Pelicans down?
No, there's nothing I said in the timeout. We knew what we had to do differently in the second half, with our defense. And, they came out, and I think we gave up an and one and a three to start, and that's not what we were looking for. But our guys are motivated at halftime to just come out and be better. Knowing that if it's a potential night where the shot's not falling, then our defense got to carry us. So they really just want to elevate their play.
And just as a quick follow-up, what do you think that says about the patience of the team to sort of hang in there for that moment in the game?
Yeah, well, we know it's a 48-minute game, and we got a great deal of belief in ourselves.